In the intricate tapestry of existence, there are certain threads that, once woven, become irrevocably bound, creating a pattern of destiny and profound connection. Your person, the individual who occupies such a singularly cherished and irreplaceable space within the very core of your being, is not merely committed to you, they are fundamentally, irrevocably, and deeply devoted. This commitment is not a fleeting promise whispered on a whim, nor is it a casual inclination that might waver with the changing tides of life. No, this is a commitment forged in the crucible of profound realization, a steadfast resolve that anchors their spirit and guides their every nascent intention towards you. They stand poised at the precipice of a momentous revelation, prepared, at long last, to unfurl the deepest recesses of their heart, to articulate the genuine emotions that have long resided within, and to lay bare their innermost truths, those sacred, vulnerable aspects of themselves that have perhaps, until now, remained shrouded from the world. They have traversed a significant and often arduous path within the landscape of their relationship with you, arriving at this pivotal juncture where the protective walls, meticulously constructed over a lifetime, are finally ready to crumble. The armor they once wore, a shield against perceived threats and past wounds, is now being consciously, deliberately, and lovingly lowered. They are ready to allow you, truly allow you, to peer beyond the surface, to witness the raw, unvarnished essence of who they truly are, stripped of pretense and fear. This profound act of vulnerability is born from an unshakable trust in your understanding, a quiet, unwavering faith that your gaze will be one of acceptance and compassion, not judgment. Within your presence, they discover a sanctity, a profound sense of safety that cradles their spirit, a sanctuary they value with a depth and intensity that you may only just begin to fathom. This connection, this sacred bond, transcends the mundane and the ordinary. It is not merely a pleasant acquaintance or a convenient alliance. Instead, it is a connection steeped in the very essence of passion, an elemental, almost gravitational force that, regardless of distance or circumstance, invariably draws your spirits back into alignment, time and time again. This passion is not a transient spark, a fleeting flicker of emotion that ignites and then swiftly fades into the ether. On the contrary, it is a constant and unwavering flame that burns brightly within their soul, serving as an immutable guiding force, an inner compass that, no matter how divergent your paths may momentarily appear, leads you both inexorably back to each other. It is a testament to an unseen design, a spiritual magnetism that defies the logic of the material world, ensuring that your destinies remain intertwined. Yet, even in the embrace of such profound connection, the journey of life is rarely without its formidable challenges. Your person, at this very moment, finds themselves navigating a tempestuous sea of difficulties, a crucible of intense pressure that presses in from all sides. They are wrestling with significant, often overwhelming, challenges in their life, contending with a relentless barrage of uncertainties and complexities that demand every ounce of their resilience. It is a period of immense strain, a time when the very fabric of their existence feels stretched taut, almost to the breaking point. Despite these arduous circumstances, despite the weight of the world that seems to rest upon their shoulders, they remain remarkably, inspiringly resilient. Their spirit is not broken, it is alive, vibrant, and fiercely fighting. They are not merely enduring, they are persevering with an indomitable will, pushing through the pain, the doubt, and the exhaustion. In the very heart of this tumultuous period, amidst the clamor of their daily struggles, a profound and undeniable ache settles within them. They find themselves missing the singular connection they share with you with an intensity that borders on spiritual yearning. They long, with every fiber of their being, for their other half, for the sacred counterpart who completes the intricate puzzle of their soul, the one whose presence makes them whole. They possess an innate understanding, a deep spiritual knowing, that divine timing is meticulously at work, orchestrating every event with an unseen hand. They comprehend that everything unfolds for a profound reason, at precisely the right moment, according to a greater, benevolent design. And yet, despite this profound acceptance of cosmic order, they cannot suppress the overwhelming, almost primal, desire to reach out to you, to bridge the perceived chasm, to reconnect with the very source of their comfort and joy, to once again feel the enveloping warmth of your presence, a warmth that lingers in their memory like a cherished ember. This longing is far more than a simple yearning, a casual desire for companionship. It is a deep-seated, soul-stirring hunger, a resonant call emanating from the very depths of their soul, reaching out across the ether directly to yours. They miss the intricate dance of your connection, the unbreakable bond that unites you, the profound unity that defines your shared existence. They miss connecting to their other half, to the one who sees them, understands them, and accepts them in a way that no one else in this vast universe ever could. They acknowledge, with a quiet reverence, that divine timing is indeed at play, that the universe is unfolding according to an ancient, perfect rhythm. They know, with an unshakable certainty, that every event, every separation, every reunion happens for a reason, that everything aligns with a grander, more magnificent plan. But even with this profound spiritual insight, the yearning persists, a silent echo in the chambers of their heart, a persistent calling for you, a reaching out, a palpable longing for your comforting, completing presence. This current period is a profound crucible of deep reflection for them, a sacred pause in the relentless march of time. They are engaged in an intense process of introspection, turning their gaze inward, delving into the intricate labyrinth of their own feelings, dissecting the nuances of their emotions, and confronting the raw truth of their desires. It is a journey of self-discovery, a courageous exploration of the inner landscape of their being. As they delve deeper, they sense, with an almost palpable certainty, that they stand on the very brink of a monumental shift in your shared connection, a transformative moment that holds the promise of a deeper, infinitely more meaningful relationship. This isn't merely a hope, it's a felt reality, a vibrational shift in the energetic fabric between you. Looking back, with the clarity that only hindsight can provide, they now understand a profound truth. They experience the sheer intensity and breathtaking depth of your connection long before you yourself fully recognized its magnitude. They felt the raw power of your bond, the unyielding strength of your relationship, and the immeasurable depth of your love with an intuitive knowing that transcended mere intellectual understanding. If you were to pause for a moment, to truly connect the seemingly disparate dots of your shared journey, to cast your gaze back upon the winding path you have traversed together, you would undoubtedly perceive the profound, indelible impact your relationship has had upon them, shaping them, molding them, and awakening them to a higher truth. Your person is currently undergoing a profound transformative phase, a spiritual metamorphosis. They are in the process of opening up, not just superficially, but from the very core of their being, expressing emotions that have long been sequestered, and reaching out to you with an authenticity that is both courageous and vulnerable. They are engaged in a sacred reflection on their deepest feelings, on the intricate tapestry of their connection with you, and on the boundless depth of their relationship. They are not merely contemplating change, they are ready, truly ready, to initiate a profound shift, to take a decisive and courageous step towards a connection that is not only deeper but infinitely more meaningful, a bond that transcends the superficial and delves into the very soul. And through it all, through every challenge, every realization, every moment of vulnerability, they are unequivocally demonstrating their unwavering commitment, their profound trust, and their boundless love for you. They are showing you, with every fiber of their being, that they are not just any person, but your person, the one who is deeply, irrevocably, and eternally committed to you. In a past that now feels like a distant, almost unrecognizable echo, I confess, with a heavy heart, that I perceived you as my adversary. This was a perspective born of my own profound ignorance and internal turmoil, a distorted lens through which I viewed the world and everyone in it. This perception, so deeply ingrained, has since been utterly and irrevocably replaced with a profound, almost unbearable weight of deep regret. The harsh, cutting words that, in moments of my own weakness and fear, escaped my lips like venomous darts, and the impulsive decisions I made in the blinding heat of anger, have left an indelible, searing mark of remorse upon the very fabric of my conscience. It was a time, a dark chapter in my personal history, when my every action, every thought, every reaction, was not guided by wisdom or compassion, but by the relentless, insidious dictates of my ego. This ego, a construct of false pride and self-importance, is a concept I now understand, with painful clarity, to be fundamentally flawed, profoundly misleading, and ultimately, deeply destructive. Before our lives, like two converging rivers, intertwined, I was living in a world of elaborate illusions, a meticulously constructed false reality that was tragically far removed from the liberating truth. It was a carefully curated existence, a gilded cage of my own making, where I believed my perceptions were the only valid ones. No one, not a single soul, had ever possessed the courage or the insight to hold up a true mirror to my life, a mirror that would unflinchingly reflect the distortions in my perception of reality, revealing the cracks in my carefully constructed facade. I was perpetually curious, yes, always questioning the superficial aspects of how I was living my life, but never truly delving into the deeper, more uncomfortable truths. I was rigidly unyielding in my approach to everything, adhering to a my way or the highway philosophy, a stubborn insistence on my own path, completely oblivious, tragically unaware of the true, magnificent purpose of my existence on this vast and ancient planet. Deep within the silent chambers of my soul, a quiet, persistent whisper, a profound knowing, was always aware of the elaborate facade I was living. It knew, with an undeniable certainty, that the life I was leading was not authentic, that it was a mere illusion, a fleeting shadow play devoid of genuine substance. However, it was only when the currents of destiny brought me face to face with you that I was finally, irrevocably, confronted with this stark and undeniable reality. Our interactions, from the very first moment, were a revelation, a seismic shift in my understanding of human connection. You were fundamentally, breathtakingly different from everyone else I had ever encountered in my carefully guarded existence. You desired nothing in return for your boundless kindness, your unwavering friendship, your genuine concern. This was an utterly new, almost disorienting experience for me, as I had never before, not once in my entire life, encountered someone who offered so much of themselves without any expectation of reciprocation, without any hidden agenda. This profound absence of self-interest, this pure, unadulterated generosity of spirit, was precisely why I initially failed to grasp your true, immeasurable value. I was so accustomed to transactional relationships, to quid pro quo exchanges, that I simply could not comprehend a love that asked for nothing. In those earlier, more misguided days, I used to meticulously hide the raw, vulnerable landscape of my emotions behind a thick, impenetrable veil of physical pleasure. It was a desperate defense mechanism, a misguided attempt to protect my fragile heart from the perceived threat of getting hurt, from the sting of rejection or the pain of disappointment. But in the very process of attempting to shield myself, I inadvertently, tragically, ended up hurting myself even more profoundly, inflicting wounds that festered in the quiet corners of my soul. I felt, in those moments, like an object, a mere plaything, meant only for fleeting amusement or superficial pleasure. It was a deeply degrading, profoundly dehumanizing feeling, one that left me with an aching void, a hollow emptiness deep inside, a spiritual desolation that no amount of external gratification could ever fill. Now, with the clarity of a dawn after a long, dark night, I see things with an entirely new perspective. the scales have fallen from my eyes, and I understand, with the crushing weight of realization, the egregious error of my past ways and the profound, far-reaching damage that my actions, born of ignorance and ego, have wrought. My heart aches with a sincere and profound apology. I am truly sorry, from the deepest chambers of my being, for the way I treated you in the past, for the callousness, the indifference, the pain I inflicted. I am sorry for the agony I caused you, for the tears you may have shed, for the hurt that lingered in your spirit because of my blindness. I am sorry, with every fiber of my being, for not recognizing your intrinsic worth, your immeasurable value, your radiant light, sooner. My ego, a monstrous shadow that loomed large over my life, tragically stood in the way of our burgeoning relationship, obscuring the truth and preventing me from seeing the beauty that was unfolding before me. For this, I am deeply, profoundly sorry. I am sorry for not being the person you deserved, the person who could have met your kindness with equal measure, who could have cherished you as you deserved to be cherished. I have learned an immeasurable amount from our interactions, from the crucible of our shared experiences. I have learned, with a humility that now grounds my spirit, about the paramount importance of putting aside one's ego, of dismantling that false construct for the sake of others, for the sake of genuine connection. I have learned, with a newfound reverence, about the invaluable worth of authentic relationships, of the rare and precious individuals who extend kindness, friendship, and love without any expectation of return, simply because it is their nature to do so. I have learned, with a chilling clarity, about the destructive, corrosive power of anger, how it can lay waste to everything beautiful in its path, and conversely, about the profound, miraculous healing power of forgiveness, both for the giver and the receiver. I have indeed come a long, arduous, yet ultimately liberating way since those days of darkness and delusion. I have grown, not just superficially, but from the very core of my being. I have changed, fundamentally and irrevocably. I have evolved, shedding the constricting skin of my old self, discarding the limiting beliefs that once held me captive, and abandoning the destructive old ways that defined my past. I have, with a conscious and deliberate choice, embraced a new way of living, a new way of thinking, a new way of being in the world. I have learned, with a grateful heart, to value people for who they are, for the intrinsic beauty of their souls, not for what they can offer me, not for any perceived utility. I have learned to appreciate the simple, often overlooked things in life, the quiet moments, the genuine smiles, the shared laughter, the things that truly, profoundly matter. I have learned to consciously, lovingly let go of my ego, to release the suffocating grip of my anger, to finally, mercifully, let go of the burdens of my past. I have learned, through grace and perseverance, to forgive, to heal the deep wounds within, and to courageously move forward into a brighter future. I have learned, with a heart now open and receptive, to love, to care deeply, and to empathize with the struggles and joys of others. I have learned, through the transformative power of our connection, to be a better person, a more compassionate friend, a more conscious and contributing human being. And for all these invaluable lessons, for all these profound changes, for all these miraculous transformations that have reshaped the very landscape of my soul, I have you, and only you, to thank. You were the undeniable catalyst, the divine spark that ignited the flame of change within the deepest chambers of my being. You were the unflinching mirror that, for the first time, showed me my true self, reflecting back not the distorted image of my ego, but the authentic essence of my soul. You were the unwavering compass that, when I was lost in the wilderness of my own confusion, gently guided me towards my true north, towards the path of authenticity and purpose. You were the steadfast friend who, despite my flaws and missteps, stood by me with unwavering loyalty. You were the wise mentor who, with patience and insight, guided me through the labyrinth of my own making. You were the trusted confidant who, with an open heart and a listening ear, allowed me to unburden my soul without fear of judgment. So, From the depths of my being, I offer you my profound gratitude. Thank you for choosing to be a part of my life, for gracing my existence with your presence. Thank you for being an integral part of my arduous, yet ultimately redemptive, journey. Thank you, simply, for being you, in all your magnificent authenticity. And most importantly, thank you for teaching me the most valuable, life-altering lesson of all, the profound, liberating lesson of self-love, the unwavering foundation of self-respect, and the unshakable truth of self-worth. Thank you for showing me, unequivocally, that I am more than just an object, more than just a plaything to be used and discarded. Thank you for showing me, with your very being, that I am inherently worthy of love, respect, and dignity. Thank you for showing me, with a clarity that resonates through my entire being, that I am enough, perfectly and wonderfully enough, just the way I am. Thank you for everything.